Well, hi once again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to what promises to be another terrific edition of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we've got a very interesting show for you today. Something a little bit different. We're going to be talking with a young lady that is kind of in a unique position in the golf industry, in the world of golf, and when we bring her on, you're gonna find out why. Hope you've been getting out and playing some golf. We're in monsoon season here in Las Vegas, and for those of you that aren't quite sure what that means, it means we're getting rain, it means we're getting wind, it means we're getting thunder, it means we're getting lightning. It's all very cool at night, if you're inside and you're sleeping or whatever, but you don't want to have that happen out on the golf course. Temperatures are a little below normal. We've been in the mid to upper 80s. We should be well above 100 this time of year, but, monsoon season happens every year. So a lot of people I like the thunder. I like the lightning. I kind of like the rain at night, but of course not during the day when you're out running around trying to do things. But it is what it is. Again, we're fully open. So if you're planning a trip to Las Vegas, where we are broadcasting live from the great Rigel Studios, right in the heart of Las Vegas, just moments away from the world famous Las Vegas Strip. So, come on, golf courses are open. Everything is open, shows, restaurants, whatever. So, make a trip. You're going to be glad you did. Let me tell you about the young lady we have on the show today before we bring her on camera. Jody Lutz is the developer and owner of Pines Dune Resort and Golf Club in Frankston, Texas. And Frankston is about 100 miles, I believe, east of Dallas. It was opened in 2001. Jody, to our knowledge, is the only female owner-operator of a golf resort and lodge. Jody is formerly a professional ice skater and was also connected with the Ice Capade show, if you remember that. I remember that being as a kid. I absolutely loved it. Pines Dunes was ranked as the number 6 best new course in America. Pretty strong, and featured in Golf Digest, and Golf Week magazine on a regular basis. Pines Dunes is a J. Moorish design and is a par 72 golf course, and thus has received numerous mentions in various golf publications. As I mentioned, from many top golf publications, Pines Dunes has 4 set of tees with yardages ranging from a little over 7,100 yards to a little over 5,100 yards. So kind of unique, kind of cool, and we're trying to get some pictures of this particular development. I don't know if we're able to or not to run during the broadcast, but nonetheless, let me bring up Jody Lutz right now, who again is the owner, is developer. Jody, thanks for taking time out to be on the show. I know you're in beautiful Colorado for a couple of weeks. Where in Colorado are you?
In Beaver Creek.
In Beaver Creek. All right. Do they get that Rocky Mountain High in Beaver Creek?
Yes, they do. At least I do.
I love that. I love that. No, that's a beautiful. Colorado's all beautiful, and it's a beautiful part of the country there. Let me start off and ask you. You've had a very interesting professional working background that we might get into a little bit. You've done a hell of a lot of things, but then I want to ask you how you went from being on the ice to owning a golf resort. But what's the hardest part for you in running and owning a golf resort? Jody?
Every single guy that comes out to my golf course tells me what I need to do.
Okay.
My first question is, okay, so I think I pretty well have it what guys want.
Okay. And what do they want?
Most of them just want to have a place where they can go with their buddies and hang out and golf and drink.
Pretty typical.
And gamble.
And gamble. Yeah, you mean on the golf course because you don't have any, gaming there per se, right?
Yeah, mostly on the golf course.
Okay. Uh, when you had the golf course designed by Jay Morrish, and I used to belong to a private club in Flagstaff, Arizona, called Pine Canyon, which was absolutely beautiful. It was a Jay Morrish design. How much say did you have in the design, since golf really wasn't your main focus at that point in your life?
Oh, I didn't want any say. Jay was the expert, Jay Moore. So I let him do whatever he wanted. And if he needed more land, I went and bought more land. If he wanted to change up a hole, I let him change it up. That's why it's one of the top golf courses, because I didn't interfere with his design abilities. I did design the practice area, but I kind of designed it after one that I used to really like and play a lot at the Four Seasons in Dallas. But the one thing that I never found any place was a sand bunker or a bunker along the side of the driving range, because when you land in the fairway bunker, you never get a practice shooting out of it. So I put a big fairway bunker right beside the driving range so you could do those shots too out into the driving range. A lot of people like that.
A lot of people like that. What would you say is the hallmark or the signature of Pine Dunes?
Well, Jay Morse has a signature hole, which is number 15, and it's a drivable par 4. But if you miss, you're going to be in big trouble because there's traps all around the green. But it's also the largest green on the whole course.
Okay, all right.
And he has a couple little things that he does with his holes. He has a lot of false tongues, so that's where the edge drops off on the putting green. It looks like a tongue. And so the greens are really, really hard to read.
Yeah.
And every time you have a different pin placement, it's a whole new game.
Right. No, I get that. What we talked about this a little bit earlier. You've got a very good golf course superintendent, but when you opened the golf course, you hired somebody to zone in, for lack of a better word, on the agronomy of the golf course. Tell everybody what the fairways are, what the tee boxes are, what the greens are, and type. Because I think it's a great mix.
Well, the heat is very tough on Texas golf courses, so you have to pick the right grasses. And then some of them are very aggressive and can go into the greens. So I worked with a friend of mine, Steve Barley, and he recommended. We went all over the place. We did. We looked at Ben Crenshaw grass. We looked at GN1, which is a Greg Norman grass. But we settled on the 419 for the fairways and Tiff Eagle on the greens. And then we've started to replace the tee boxes with Soja because it really heals fast.
Yeah. No, that's very nice. How is it, getting back to the beginning of the show, how is it you came from being a professional skater and you competed to getting in the golf business? I know there was a lot of stuff in between, but you have an interesting story of how you met David Frost, plays on the PGA Tour, European player from South Africa, meeting him to meeting Jay Morrish. How did that all come about?
Well, I was young and naive, and I was figure skating in between the hockey periods for the Dallas Stars performing. And my friends who are pair skaters, Peter and Darlene Kane, who are also now one of the top coaches in figure skating, they introduced me to David Frost. And they said, oh, she, has this little 9-hole podunk golf course, and he wanted to come out and see it. And I was super embarrassed because it was nothing more than a goat ranch. But it was on white sand and pine trees. And so when he came out and looked at it, he was blown away. He called Jay Morse, because at that time they were working together designing courses. And Jay sent his son Carter out, and his son Carter screaming at his dad that you need to get out here. This land is amazing. And that's how it all kind of started. And then they just said, this could be a championship 18-hole golf course with the white sand that it's built on and the pine trees and the piney woods. And so I figured who would know better than Jay Morse and David Frost about building a championship golf course. So I just trusted their instinct, and it ended up working out.
Who designed the 9-hole facility, Jody?
It was a long time ago, and I think it was Miller Barber.
Okay.
Do you know Miller Barber? That
Yeah.
was what I was told. And but we didn't use hardly any of the old course. We used a few of the first holes and reshaped them. And for instance, number 5 was 5 and 6 coming back, but now it's a split fairway where you have trees down the middle. On the left, if you go for it, it's sand and native area, and on the right is a fairway. And besides that, I bought all this other land. I own another 500 acres off to the side of number 7 for future development. And then I have over 500 residential lots and a lake.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
So if you want to retire, you can come on out here and retire. Not that you're ready to retire, but when you want to retire.
What is there to do other than to play golf, Jody? I mean, it sounds very inviting. Thank you. But what is there around there to do in Frankston? Drink. Okay.
Drink.
I knew I was going to like you when I picked you to have on the show.
And hang out on the lake. You can go paddle boarding. You can go kayaking. You can go fishing. So it's fishing and golfing right now.
Could be a lot worse.
But when the new clubhouse is built in the resort, then we'll have other stuff.
Could be.
Maybe even pickleball. Do you like pickleball?
Pickleball. I know a lot. I have friends that play pickleball. They're absolutely crazy over it. Do you play, by the way?
No, I haven't yet, but it's crazy up here in Beaver Creek and Vale. You can't even get on the court.
Really?
There's tons of people waiting. It's funny.
Yeah, it is. It is just a different dynamic. Let me ask you this.
Hank Haney, I know, is really big in pickleball.
Hank Haney is right.
Yeah.
Right. You're absolutely right. Let me ask you this before we take our first break. You know, the golf resort business, Jody, as you're well aware of, is a very competitive space. So what does Jody Lutz do to keep ahead of the competition with Pine Dunes?
Well, the whole reason why people come out to Pine Dunes is because of the golf course. It's unlike any other in Texas. And most people, even Pat Summerall would tell me, it reminds them of Northern Florida golf courses. So my biggest thing is making sure the golf course is in excellent shape all the time, because people come out there to play that golf course because it has such a good name for it.
Okay.
And besides that, I just listen to these guys. Like I say, I'm out there for 20 years. They're telling me what I need to be doing, and I keep doing it, and they keep coming back.
That's good. That's very good. And we're going to get into the water component. As you know, as you can imagine, water is the biggest expense out here in Southern Nevada for golf courses, but you have your own wells, and we're going to talk about that. All right, so stay with us. We're going to step away. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we're going to have a lot more with our very special guest, Jody Lutz. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
When I first learned about Encore, I was a little taken back because I didn't know much about the ball. I went out and played a couple rounds with it, and I was just extremely surprised how this ball made up for what I was looking for in a golf ball 20 years ago. It's a very straight ball. It launches a little higher than other balls that I've used, which is ideal for the tour because we're playing firm and fast greens. A lot of the balls do fly very similar, but this ball reacts so much differently around the greens and inside 100 yards than any other ball I've ever played. The combination of this ball is the best ball that I've ever played.
Golfers at every level strive to hit the ball like a tour player, setting the club perfectly at the top, storing all the energy as they unwind and their club head approaches the ball, striking it flush at impact and staring it down as it explodes off the club towards the target. Introducing Precision Impact. Precision Impact is the single tool that will accelerate that process and get anybody striking the ball with complete command. Unlike any other product, Precision Impact is designed to keep the hands quiet and prevent the fatal flipping or scooping of the hands. This amazing product will actually reprogram your brain to keep your hands in the perfect textbook position. Precision Impact will soon have you hitting the most crisp, consistent shots of your life. As you start your backswing, you should hear several clicks as your wrist folds properly for a perfect set at the top of your swing. From there, allow your arms to fall as you aggressively rotate through the ball, knowing your precision impact will keep your hands and club head in the ideal position. Order now at PrecisionImpactGolf.com and never look back.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to a continuation of the 19th hole, the podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, having a very nice conversation with Jody Lutz, who is the owner-developer of Pine Dunes in Texas. And Jody, you do all of the marketing and social media for Pine Dunes. How creative do you get in both areas, and can you give us some examples of what you might do to really get the attention and get golfers out to your golf course and facility?
Well, all of my followers help me a ton. I'm really the GameStop of golf courses, if you might say, because they're the ones that I don't really do any outside advertising. It's mostly word of mouth by all of my golfers that come out here. So they mean a lot to me. And I just started a contest on my Instagram. And if you're following me in August, I'm going to release a date that I'm going to have a free tournament for all my followers with a barbecue and prizes and, a gift presentation at the end, just to kind of give back to all those people for so many years that have been telling people to go out and play Pine Dunes, because that's how I'm still here 20 years later, is all word of mouth advertising. And then I had someone like a Shane Bacon, who's on the Golf Channel, that called me the best hidden gem in America, a must play. And when people like that just give me a little shout out, it like can make or break it for me, and it really does help. So I really am grateful for all my followers and everybody that has been coming out there for so many years. We have groups that have been coming out for 20 years.
Wow.
And they book a year in advance as they're leaving, because you can book a year in advance and they don't want anybody to take their weekend.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So it's really, I grow my business through my existing clients and customers. Now, and I'm very grateful for it.
Well, and you should be. Now, you have obviously a very solid base of local players, and when I mean local players, I mean Texans. Are you planning to grow in the sense that you want to market your business to the entire country and have people from all over come and experience Pine Dunes?
Yeah, I just built a 5-star lodge. I call it the Double Eagle. It's a guest lodge in great room. And Tyler Airport is like 20 minutes. We're on the side of Tyler Airport, which is really a nice airport. And so it's only about 20 minutes from the airport. So now that I kind of have my local business, I'm going to start looking at trying to bring in people from other outside golf courses. I have my cousin from Wisconsin that brings a group out in the winter. But, so it's because we're open year round here. It gets a little hot in August, but.
Hey, so does it here. And I happen to be one that loves hot weather. I was thinking when I come see you, I had to fly into Dallas or something, and you're going to have to drive an hour to pick me up. So all you're saying is 20 minutes away from the airport, right?
Yep, you can fly right into Tyler, Texas.
Okay, who flies in there? Who flies in there? What airlines?
What airlines?
Do you know?
I think American does. I think they have American Eagle flight that goes from Dallas to Tyler. I know there's several of them because it's a pretty big airport.
Okay.
Tyler's a pretty big city, and there's a lot of people that live out there.
Okay. Do you have airlines that fly directly to Tyler, or do you have to go through Dallas?
I think you have to go through Dallas for most of them. There's one airline that flies directly into Denver from Tyler. So, if you're from Denver, then that would be easy flight. But and that's really what I should put on my website, because we haven't really thought about people outside of Texas, but I should start putting on my website, airlines that will fly into Thailand.
Correct.
So thank you for pointing that out to me.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad it's only a 20-minute drive for you to pick me up when I get there, right?
Right. And Uber is talking about having Dallas be their base for their helicopter. So pretty soon you might be able to take a short little helicopter ride up.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
And you get a view. You get a drone view of the golf course.
That would be awesome. Have a little landing pad on top of the double eagle there. That would be.
I have the landing pad.
Do
the
you
landing
really?
pad is next to the driving range. So you have to get out and get in quick.
You are, that is amazing. Good for you. Anyway, I mentioned it earlier, Jody, that water is a big concern here in a lot of parts of the country, especially here in Southern Nevada. The biggest expense that golf courses have here. And you were perceptive enough to, I think you have 3 wells that could just pump a lot of water every day. How much money does that save you, do you feel, in the long run, having your own wells? And there are a couple of golf courses here that do have their own wells, but certainly not enough. So it's got to be a real big plus for you and a big plus for your bottom line financially.
Oh, we use a lot of water because we want it to be so plush, but we're lucky we have had a lot of water this spring and summer. We've had more rain than ever, so the golf course is looking phenomenal. But we definitely water a lot, and it saved us a lot of money. They're now taxing us. They have meters on each of the wells, taxing us so much for all the water we pull out of the ground, but it's a lot cheaper than buying water from a nonprofit like Dogwood Springs, which is where we get our tap water.
Okay. Dogwood Springs. Where is that?
That's right across from our entrance. I donated the land for the little water tank and water tower, so we get great pressure at the new lodge.
Oh, that is cool.
It's right there. So you're kind of out in the country, so you have your own little water company, and it's called Dogwood Springs Water Company, and it's a nonprofit. So we buy all of our bathing and cooking water and all through them, and then the water that we pull out of the ground is just used on the golf course. God,
I love that name, Dogwood Springs. It just comes to mind.
That sounds so fresh.
Yeah.
Because we're bottling it. I'm going to bottle it.
That's very cool. That's very cool. You tell me that, well, I mentioned you do all the marketing and the social media for your resort. You also came up with the logo, which explain why you came up with that particular kind of logo. And then I'll give you my impression.
It's actually a hawk. Where is it? Oh, it's opposite. Oh, it's over here. Okay.
It's over there.
It's actually a hawk. If you can see it, it's designed to look like a hawk. You can see his little fat legs.
Okay,
I just
thought it was a bird pooping on a rock or something like that. What it looked like to me. No,
it's supposed to be a bird standing on a sand dune. Well, okay. It's supposed to be a bird standing on the sand with a tree in the background, but some guys have pointed it out to me that it looks like he's standing on a butt. So,
there you go.
So that's why they love it so much, I guess. It's a subliminal. Now I'm going to sell out of all my hats and shirts.
Oh my goodness! No, I think it's very, very nice looking. Last question before we take another short break. Why do you think more women, I know for instance Jan Stevenson owns a golf course, there might be others, but why do you think you're probably the only woman that fully owns and has developed a golf resort and a lodge? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's really, really hard. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've had some very good advice, and I listened to some very good people, and I'm still listening to people. So I take it all in, but I think it's really, really hard. Golf courses are really hard to make money on. I mean, they always tell me out here that I'm the only non-billionaire that has a golf course, and it's kind of true. Well, it's really true as far as that, but I mean, it takes a lot of money to develop a golf course and build a golf course and then to maintain it.
Right.
I mean, the overhead is huge. I mean, look at all the land I have. I mean, and think I have to have my crew out every single day, and I mow the fairways twice a week. I mow the greens every day. I mean, it's like a lot of work, and it's a huge, so landscaping is huge on it. So it's a lot of overhead, and you have to be very lucky to make it in the golf world.
Oh, I agree with you, because it's, like you say, it is a very, very tough business. It's a very competitive business, and especially here in Southern Nevada. Do you look at this as something that you're going to really keep and develop long term? Because I'm not sure if your property values have gone up where it might give you a chance to sell and really make a lot of money?
Well, I don't know what I would do with it if I had a lot of money. I mean, I like what I have going on now. It's kind of fun to be building this and see it and, leave it and have done something with my life. So it's kind of nice developing it. When I added the new lodge, the Double Eagle, people got excited. And now the next thing is redoing the brand new clubhouse. And then I'm going to start redoing the lodging. And then
Great.
I have to develop all the lots out here. And in Dallas, people are scrambling for lots. There's no lots available.
Yeah.
And they keep going further and further and further out. So, I would ideally like to have a developer come in and buy my lots and handle that part so I can focus on the golf resort and the clubhouse and the new lodging for the stay and plays.
Yeah.
But for me to do it all, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Yeah, well, I know the housing market here in Las Vegas is just crazy. I mean, you can't find a house to buy. It's just gone, absolutely nuts. And houses are like pre-sold that some of the bigger developers have plans to develop. So maybe, hopefully, the same thing could happen to you.
Yeah, well, construction costs have skyrocketed. Lumber was up 1,300%.
Wow.
PVC pipe and lumber goes into everything: windows, flooring, ceiling, counters, cabinets. I mean, so for me personally, I'm kind of okay. I have an architect that I'm using to design the clubhouse, and I'm kind of waiting for costs to come back down. They have come down a bit, but it's just crazy. I mean, I'm glad I finished my brand new lodge because it would have been 40% more to build it.
Exactly. All right. Well, before we go really quickly, whose idea was it to put the shuffleboard table in the Double Eagle? Who the hell thought of that?
Idea.
Oh, it was your idea. Well, then it's a fine idea, I guess.
You don't like it?
Who plays shuffleboard today, Jody?
Well, a lot of people in Texas do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's just something else for the guys to gamble on. Guys like to gamble.
Yeah.
They stay outside gambling until it's dark. They want to go inside and play poker or play shuffleboard and gamble.
I don't know.
So
I don't know of any Texans that like to play shuffleboard, but that's for another discussion.
Okay. Do you know who Kelsey Warren is?
Yes.
Kelsey Warren is a big shuffleboard player, and so are all of his buddies, and they used to come out to Pine Dunes all the time. So I thought, hey, if he plays shuffleboard, it must be pretty popular.
Must be pretty good. All right, stay with us. We're going to step away again, take another short break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the 19th Hole podcast with our special guest, Jody Lutz. We're back right after this. Hey, golfers. I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scores will love you for it. That's ONCORE golf.com.
One of the buzzwords happening in golf is the word lag. You hear it all the time, but what is it, and how do I get it? Lag simply is the loading of the club to help produce tons of power in your golf swing. Up until now, getting lag into your swing has been very hard. Introducing the Lag Shot, a brand new proven training aid being praised by some of the leading PGA Tour instructors across the globe. This practice aid trains your hands, arms and body, how to make a powerful efficient golf swing with an amazing amount of lag. Lag Shot is a 7-iron length club with the same loft, and lie with a whippy, flexible blue shaft, and a beautiful jet black club head. After you master the Lag Shot, your game will change forever with a stress-free swing, more power and more distance with lower scores every time you play. Go to lagshotgolf.com, and you'll see why this truly is becoming the #1 training aid in golf. Visit lagshotgolf.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are finishing up our discussion with our wonderful guest, Jody Lutz, who is the owner and developer of Pine Dunes in Texas, and we highly recommend that you look it up if you're taking a trip to Texas, anywhere near Dallas. Wonderful, wonderful golf course. Jody, let me ask you this. I know that you have a lot of irons in the fire, but why don't you play more golf? You own a damn golf course. Why don't you play more golf?
I get up at 5 o'clock and I go to bed at 9 o'clock, and I'm working the whole time unless I'm out running. I just have so much going on because I manage money too. That's my day job. And then doing all the marketing and keeping up with social media. And then I'm working on this tournament for all my followers. And, I just have a lot going on with the new development part of it too. I'm still working on designs for the new clubhouse.
Right.
And, it's just, and I do play with my son. My son is going to be a senior this year in high school. So
Nice.
I make time to go play with him. He's a really good golfer.
Oh,
And
he's
he's
that's
out
good.
golfing every day. We stayed at the golf course for the last year, and his golf game improved tremendously because I was like, you can just roll out the door and be on a top golf course.
Yeah.
And you see all these kids driving here, and I'm like, you need to get out there and play. So he's really starting to like it. So that's great.
That's good. And do you have a teaching professional at Pine Dunes, Jody?
No, it's more of a resort course. So we have Jay in the pro shop, who's our head of our pro shop, and he used to give lessons. He's the one that taught my son. He's really good.
Okay.
But, there wasn't a huge demand because we're a resort course. So somebody would just come out and get like one lesson.
Right.
And then go back to their home course. And we had a guy, John Sykes, who's now at one of the other clubs in the area. And he didn't really have a lot of business because, most people, this isn't their home club. We don't have
Right.
members. It's more of a resort course.
Gotcha. No, I understand that. And do you have a lot of? I'm sure you offer some great packages for people that come out. For 2 nights or 3 nights and a couple of rounds of golf. You have that?
Yeah, we have that on the weekends. You stay 2 nights and it's like $245 a person, and it's based on 4 people per condo.
Okay.
And it includes golf and lodging.
That's very good. All right. So if people want to find out your rates, your packages, where you are, where should they go? Is it your website or where else?
Yeah, pinedunes.com.
Okay.
Just pinedunes.com, pinedunes.com. And then we have a Facebook account. We have a Twitter account. We have an Instagram account where I post a lot of videos on the Instagram so they can really get a good look at the golf course. And we do have our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So if you want to see videos before you come of what the golf course looks like, I just want to tell you have to bring a lot of balls. Somebody said, do we have any trees?
Got to bring a lot of balls. I love that. When I first knew we were going to have you on the show, I really, really got excited because I figured Jody Lutz, professional competitive ice skater, obviously had to invent the triple Lutz or whatever. But that's not the case, is it? You didn't invent the triple Lutz. So what's up with that?
Well, I would be 108 if I did.
Okay.
Do I look 108 years old? It was done back in 1913. It's the second hardest jump in figure skating.
Gotta be.
The axle is the hardest. Yeah.
And how often did you incorporate that into your routine when you were competing?
As much as I could, if I felt comfortable. It's usually at the beginning of a program because you have to have a lot of energy. You do all your harder stuff at the beginning. You notice all your harder tricks are done at the beginning because, a 5-minute program, you're worn out.
You're worn out, yeah.
At the end. So you really have mostly spins and maybe footwork or stuff like that towards the end and easier jumps.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. I know you like Las Vegas. You told me that. So when the heck you coming on out?
I'm on my way. My bags are packed. I'll see you in an hour.
Oh, okay.
I think you're closer with me being in Vail. How close is Vail to Vegas? It has to be a lot closer than Dallas.
It is. It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. But obviously, we'd love to have you out as we talked and, go tee it up somewhere or something like that. So hopefully you're going to get out here. But anyway, Jody, thanks so much. I know that you're very busy with stuff, and we wish you nothing but the best with Pine Dunes. And I sure am planning on getting out there, and I look very much forward to it.
Oh, that'd be awesome, Dennis. I'd love to have you see everything that I have going on. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, as you should be, and you're doing a wonderful job. But anyway, thanks again, and best of luck, and we will talk soon, and we'd love to have you back on sooner than later.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe from Pine Dunes.
You got it. That would be great.
Okay.
Thanks, Jody.
See you then.
Bye.
Okay,
bye-bye. All right, nice gal, very entrepreneurial spirit, obviously, and she's had that place a long time, and she's doing well. Anyway, before we take our next break and get into our swing tip of the week with Anna Bazalgette, let me tell you about a tournament that's coming up at the end of next month. It's actually August the 29th. It's on a Sunday. It's going to be out at Revere Golf Club, and they're going to play the Concord Golf Course, which is fabulous. And this is to benefit Las Vegas Youth Hockey. One of the principals that's putting this together, son died suddenly, who was very much into youth hockey. They have different leagues depending on your ability, and they're putting this together. And they're going to have golf. They're going to have lunch. They're going to have a goodie bag. They're going to have opportunity for special prizes. I've been fortunate enough to become involved and are going to go out there and MC the event. So if you want information, let me give you the email, for it. And this is gesmallfry@yahoo.com. And send Jermaine, her name is Jermaine Valentini, an email, say you heard about it on the show, you'd like to get more information. It really is going to be a fun event with the people that are going to be out there. And it's supporting youth hockey here in Las Vegas. It's their own league that they put together. It's the only one in the state of Nevada. So it is fantastic. So we hope you take advantage of it. All right, we're going to step away and get you with our swing tip of the week and a couple of commercials, and we'll be back to finish up the show. Stay with us.
Adam Bazalgette here, founder of Scratch Golf Academy, with another 19th Hole for Podcast for Golfers, tip for game improvement. Let's see if we can help you out. Let's talk about the pivot, specifically the upper body movement in the backswing. Things you don't want, obviously, you don't want your head moving around excessively. You can count that from both angles, moving this way either. Tricks up a lot of people. How do you store energy? How do you move freely but not get too much head movement up there? One of the things I've found, I'm all for the traditional pivot drill, but I think a lot of times when people key on turning their shoulders, they don't create the best energy in their axis. Their head moves around a little bit. So here's an alternate feel, kind of a mental picture, if you will, I think would help you. Think in terms of more of a piston type movement. Picture starting a lawnmower up. Now, I'm not suggesting my right arm movement's what we want, but think in terms of picture this axis just pivoting on that axis. In fact, this is a good drill. Put your hands like this and just use your lats and ribs to move back and forth. I think that works a lot better. Let's look at it from here. I think it's simpler for people, helps them store energy and stay nice and centered. And a lot of people, as I say, struggle with this angle, but it's much easier if you go about it that way. So think of it that way, practice it in front of the mirror. Let's have a go here with a golf ball. Not too bad there. Practice that, it'll add real consistency to your game.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
When it comes to golf, I'm a man of few words, as you'll see. Looking for out-of-this-world technology in your golf ball? Encore Golf. Looking for exceptional performance and durability? Encore Golf. Looking for the best performing ball for the price? Encore Golf. Check them out at Encore Golf, that's ONCORE golf.com. Your scores will thank you.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging in with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. She is a very successful, terrific woman operator, Jody Lutz. I want to thank her for coming on the show. Next week, we have a very, very interesting show. As you know, I very much like politics. A couple of weeks ago, we had Sheriff Joe Lombardi on, who has announced his candidacy for governor. Well, next week, we have another gentleman that has also announced his run for the governor of the state of Nevada. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It's going to be a surprise guest, but he's got an extremely interesting background, and you're just going to absolutely love this show. So make sure to catch us next week, same time, same place. So on behalf of everybody, keep it in the short stuff. Get out and play golf if you can, and we'll see you all back next week. So long, everybody.